Hello everyone, I'm Ronn Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching Just for the Record, your opportunity to meet the candidates contesting the 2023 general elections. Today I am joined by Mr. Chad George, who is an independent candidate in the 1st Electoral District. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more Just for the Record right after this.
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live. Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctbvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back, everyone. As promised, we are today joined by Mr. Chad George and 1st District independent candidate contesting the general elections in the 2023 upcoming general elections. Mr. George, Chad, welcome to Just for the Record and thank you for your time.
Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to you, Ron. Thanks for having me.
The pleasure is all mine. For those who do not know you, who is Chad? Who's Chad George?
Well, Chad George is a man from Caribbean. Mother, Larissa Karl, father, Greg George. I grew up in Caribbean with my mother and my grandparents. My grandmother is Doris Karl. Grandfather that I grew up with is the late Dawson Karl. On my father's side, my father is Greg George, and my grandfather, which is his father, was Antoine George, who had pure water, and his wife, my grandmother, Miss Etlin George, both have passed away.
Why did you decide, Chad, to contest the general elections?
Well, there's a lot of answers to that question, but the main answer is that I haven't seen progress in the 4th district like I think should have been made. So that's the main purpose that I'm contesting this year's general election. Sorry.
Okay. Just for the record, there are persons who would say Chad is too quiet. He doesn't speak to persons. He's unapproachable. What would you say to the persons who have that thought progress?
I would say to those persons, they don't know me. Number one, I would say to those persons, there are people who probably back in another party or another individual and would like to discredit me. Anyone who knows me knows I'm very approachable. But whether by phone or in person, you can call me. I'm someone who always picks up my phone. If I don't pick up my phone, it means I'm doing something that I can't pick it up, and as soon as I'm finished, you would always get a call back. I'm a very approachable guy. I'm kind of quiet in the beginning because you always have to feel out your surroundings, feel out people. But once anyone gets to know me, once I come to a place and we start talking, you know, I'm a very talkative person. I'm argumentative at times. You would see my passion if we ever get into an argument. So anyone saying those things is someone who doesn't know me or is trying to discredit me.
Understood. There is no avoiding what has transpired in the country on a national level within the past few years. The Commission of Inquiry, and of course we would all know of the events that led to the 1st District not having a representation, a representative. We are at the general elections at this point. There are persons who have long associated you with being, some want to call it the right-hand man for the former representative. For the persons who have said that they are concerned that there will be any level of influence from the former representative on you and your campaign or your representation, what do you say to those persons?
Well, I would say to those persons that they are wrong. I know people say that you're generally known by the company you keep, but anyone who knows me knows that I'm not easily influenced and I don't do things that I feel uncomfortable doing. I'm a compliance officer. To be a compliance officer, I'm an approved compliance officer. To be an approved compliance officer, you have to pass a fit and proper test by the BVI-FSC. I have passed that test to be deemed fit and proper. One of my job as a compliance officer / money laundering reporting officer is to go through the due diligence and KYC of any clients that my company takes on. And if these clients are not up to the standard that my company would like to take on, I'm the gatekeeper that keeps that person out. So I know the difference between right and wrong when it comes to finances, when it comes to the financial service sector, etc. So it's unfortunate what happened, but we have to let the judicial system run its course and see whether the individual is innocent or guilty before we jump to conclusions. And like I said, me and him, I won't deny it, me and him were good friends. But what he did does not dictate what I would do. Or what he's accused of doing, it would not dictate what I would do.
Thank you for that. You mentioned that you ran, or you are running, sorry, because you don't feel the district has been given the adequate attention that it needs. What are some of the main core issues that, if elected, you would attack in the 1st District?
Well, there's a lot of issues that needs to be addressed. I recently had my lunch this weekend and I list a number of them. One which is a top priority would be to the Western Ferry Terminal. I think we need to get that back on track. I know there's already been plans proposed, etc. So one of the first things I would do is meet with the various agencies and individuals who has already been on the ground with this project and see the best course of action in regards to getting the ferry terminal back up and running. The roads, which is not just an issue for the 1st District, it's an issue for the BVI on a whole. So I would meet, like I said, with the appropriate person and see the best course of action as well, how we can get the roads done, and not just done, but done properly so that they don't have to be done every couple of months with the regular, normal patching and stuff. You know, meet with the proper engineers who can design a way for these roads to be constructed so that they would last a longer time than they have been lasting. Because, you know, the 1st District is a coastal area. We have ground sea, which erodes the road, which messes up the pavement. So we have to find ways in which, when laying the road, it would last longer with the type of weather that we have. Another one that is a major issue is the water issues. For years, the BVI on a whole, 1st District as well, has had issues with water. Those issues need to be rectified. There have been meetings where we have been told what some of the problems are, and I know people are working on a solution, so I would more than likely be involved in getting the best solution so that the water can be on, if not always, on more than off. I can go on and on about this, but I'll touch on one last thing, which is the smoke that comes from the incinerator. That even though it's in the 3rd District, it affects the 2nd District.
Okay.
Sorry, the 4th District. So I would have to meet with the district rep for that district as well as the incinerator, the people in government who is responsible for this, and see how this can be rectified. I don't think it's a simple problem because it's the hill that's burning, and once the wind blows in that direction, the smoke shifts and comes in that direction. So we would have to see how to alleviate that by getting an incinerator that I guess can hold the magnitude of garbage that we have so that it can be burned properly. We might even have to look into alternative ways to disposing of the garbage so that the smoke doesn't affect the 1st District.
Understood. You mentioned earlier about being an approved compliance officer. Tell me a little bit more about your professional background.
Okay, my professional background, Isabella Morris Primary School, high school, HLSCC. I did a little under 2 years at HLSCC, and then I transferred to Norfolk State University. I graduated Norfolk State in 2005, cum laude, with a degree in business specifications in finance. Returned home to the BVI in 2006 and started working at a trust company. But before I went to school, I worked at a trust company from 1995. So from 1995 until 2002, when I went to school, I was doing corporate administration work, a little KYC administrator work. So I was throughout different departments in that organization. But when I came back, there wasn't any job for me in the financial sector. So I had a choice. It was whether to go on the corporate side or go on the compliance side. At that time, compliance wasn't a big of an issue. It was just starting out in terms of getting the proper procedures in place and the various acts and stuff. So I went on the compliance side, and I've been compliance admin. Then I got assistant compliance officer, and now I'm the compliance officer at the firm where I work.
All right. Now, There's a lot, or there has been a lot taking place within the territory, particularly the Commission of Inquiry.
Yeah.
I need to get your thoughts on the findings of the Commission of Inquiry. Do you view the findings as a fair representation of what has transpired in the Virgin Islands over the last decade?
Well, based on the findings, I would say it's close to a true representation to an extent, because some of the findings we've all read the findings, and we can all go back and see something that is in agreement with the findings. What we need to do is take the recommendations and move forward with the recommendations so that we can push the country back into the right direction, so that we can be looked at and deemed as the pristine territory that we have always been. It's already happened. We can't do anything about what has happened, but what we can do is correct and write the course in which to make the BVI the best place.
All right. What is your take on the Virgin Islands Constitution possibly being suspended?
I would not want it to be suspended. We've been assured that it would not be suspended. So I would hope that the powers that be keep their word, and that we don't do anything that could further make them want to suspend the Constitution.
Do you believe that the sitting government has successfully, or can rather, successfully implement all the 48 recommendations?
Yeah. To be honest, I think that they can. They just need a chance, just like anyone would need a chance. And I think they have the knowledge, I think they have the education, I think they have the people behind of them who can lead them, help them, assist them in bringing us out of this.
Okay.
But they would just have to take the advice and take the good advice to remedy the situation.
Stay tuned for more Just for the Record right after this.
There goes my new car. Guess I'm back on my bike.
Your bike? CG offers new car replacement. Remember my monster truck days? Well, one night I attempted a 50-foot pogo double backflip. I landed it and went to karaoke. It wasn't until afterward that my car got hit by that fisherman. He gave me some great mahi-mahi though. Anyway, they paid fast and got me in a new car. Now call a cab. I want you to meet my alpaca guy.
New car replacement for the first year of ownership. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. My name is Kamal Haynes. Most of you know me from 284 News, but now you get to see me in a different light on my very own show called Health is Wealth. We have Joel Turnbull,
I don't want you to arch your back when you're pulling down.
Milton McLean,
First of all, right, your footwork.
Stephen Payne,
That was a 9 out of 10. I know you got the service down pat.
Steve Augustine,
You did a pretty hard workout today, so
And
perhaps
as you can see, it's actually
you're
impacting
feeling
me.
it.
Alonzo Boynes,
Taekwondo.
Adam Murrows,
I'll speak as if you're an absolute beginner.
I am an absolute.
You are an absolute beginner.
and Seth Graham.
It bites. It will bite.
Get your water, get your fruits and veggies, and experience a wealth of knowledge about getting healthy.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. There is a common belief among the average citizen that most politicians are liars, thieves, corrupt. What is your view on that statement?
My statement on that and my view on that is, to an extent it's true, but then to another extent it's not true. Corruption starts small and sometimes escalates into big stuff. You can do something that's very minor and that makes you corrupt, and some people doesn't see it as corrupt, and then you can do something big that everyone sees as corrupt. As a politician, they are deemed that way because of the pressures that some of them have. For example, you might go and ask a politician for a grant, and the politician does not give you the grant. But then the politician's friend might come and ask for a grant, and that friend is given the grant, for example. So people would deem that as them being corrupt because, the friend got the grant. So what I would say to any politician is, to be fair, bring everything to the open market, bring everything to the table, let everyone know, well, we have A, B, C, and D asking for these grants. what's the best way to disburse these grants among everyone. And once you have those kind of terminologies, those kind of, you know, clear-pathedness, you know, you'll be fine.
It's no secret that politics is messy. Some people say it's nasty, it's ugly. What would you say to the residents who would be concerned that if you are elected, you would change or perhaps become just like one of the politicians the persons are calling corrupt, liars, and thieves? How can you assure the public that that would not be the case?
Well, they can see in my campaign strategy. They can see me doing house to house. Everyone that I've spoken to, every house that I've gone to, no one can tell you that I've spoken ill of any politician, any party, etc. I go to the person's house, I let them know what my vision is, what direction I want to see the country go in, and I stick to those points. I don't bad talk, I don't bad mouth any politician or any party. So that would be the indication, because now would be the time for me to do it. I'm trying to get in. So in order for me to get in, most people would turn to those dirty tactics. So now would be the point for me to do something like that. So the fact that I'm not doing that right now means that I won't do it at all, because if I get in, then it would be for the person that's outside to do those tactics to me, to make me not be in anymore.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you can either answer yes or no, or you have an opportunity to expound on whether or not you would support these legislations. What is your take on abortion?
Abortion is a tickly subject, and I can argue points for and against it. I think since we don't have any legislature about abortion, the people who are deciding to have the abortion, the decision should be left with them based on the reason or, you know, the way the child came about, for them to determine if they would or want to go through the abortion or not. My take on it though is to always encourage them not to do it. But if they have serious reasons or grounds as to why they would do it, example being raped, or you don't want a child to be born and then be abused, it might be, you know, in the best interest of them to have a greater thought on it. But I would always advise them not to do it. But in the end, I think the decision should be up to them.
Thank you. The legalization or decriminalization of marijuana.
That again, marijuana, in my opinion, is a plant. So I don't see it as deadly as other forms of drugs that are, you know, formulated. So my take on it, I'm not a marijuana smoker. I've never smoked a day in my life, but I think it could be or should be decriminalized based on the amount that you probably have. If we pass any laws to decriminalize it, it would be, okay, if you have this certain amount, if we catch you with it, then nothing would happen to you. But if you have an excess, then we would go to the courts.
All right, the legalization of same-sex marriage.
What I'll say to that is, in the beginning, Adam and Eve were made if you're a Bible person, a church-going person, and I've grown up a church-going person. I've always known marriage to be between a man and a woman. So, like I said, everyone has their choice, everyone has their opinion, everyone has their beliefs. I would leave that unto the person who wants to marry someone to determine whether they want to marry the same sex or whether they want to marry the opposite sex. Me, I would marry the opposite sex.
The legalization of pari-mutuel betting.
The legalization of pari-mutuel betting is a slippery slope. The reason I say this is it can benefit the BVI with regards to if you get the commission in place, if the various places that offer these services are taxed, then you know you would make money you would make money for the country, for the government. However, any place that you have pari-mutuel betting or betting, you open yourself up for money laundering. So if you were to go down that road where you would legalize betting, you would have to have serious laws and legislation in place and have people to govern these laws to go out and make sure that none of these stuff does not happen.
Crime is an issue that not only affects districts, it affects the entire territory. The 4th district is no different. There have been criminal activity, there have been situations that have happened within the 4th district. Or if you are elected, what would you do to support a safer territory and help to curb crime?
Okay, one thing that I've noticed, I don't know if it has changed, but I don't think that there's any police officer stationed at the Western Police Station on a 24-hour basis. I think to curb and curtail crime, that if it's not being done, I still have to, based on my findings so far, it's not, but if it's not, then that should happen. And then you should have regular patrols 24 hours a day. Because once you have police presence, that lessens, crime being done. Also, I think we should have, rallies. We should have me, myself, if elected, as well as other people in the community going around to the areas where, prone to have violence or prone to have people that might engage in violent activities, and just have a sit down and a talk with them, try to curtail them and try to lead them away from doing criminal activities.
When we look at the state of the territory, of course, many persons would say that there's a lot of work to be done. And where there's unity, there's strength. You saw that within the formation of the unity government with the particular situation. You're an independent candidate, which simply means that you are not at the moment affiliated with any political party. Once elected, you will, however, have to make a decision. What is your take on that and your ability to form an alliance or join an alliance, an already stationed political party if elected?
Stay tuned for more Just for the Record right after this.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on Popular.
Today, I am doing cobble treatments with Beyond the Reef. Today, we are doing shark research. So today, we are doing whale research with Beyond the Reef. And wherever I go, I take CCT with me because my life is unlimited.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
When we look at the state of the territory, of course, many persons would say that there's a lot of work to be done. And where there's unity, there's strength. You saw that within the formation of the unity government with the particular situation. You're an independent candidate, which simply means that you are not at the moment affiliated with any political party. Once elected, you will, however, have to make a decision. What is your take on that and your ability to form an alliance or join an alliance, an already stationed political party if elected?
Well, if elected, if you've heard me speak to anyone, if I've come to your house, if you listen to my lunch on Saturday, you know I'm pushing it's a meeting and not a meeting. So if elected and that time come, I would have to hold a quick meeting with the district, get as much people there as possible, and let them to know, well, hey, these are the cards that we have on the table. It's not me, it's us. Let's make a decision on the right course of action that would be best for the district and best for the territory on a whole. And once we've come to that decision, then I would make a decision as to which party or group of individuals to form an alliance with.
There are many persons of all different ages that I have heard myself say that they're not participating, they're not voting. What do you say to those persons?
I encourage them to vote. Every time I come across someone that doesn't want to vote, I told them it's their constitutional right to vote. Even if you're not voting for me, go out and vote. You have a voice, make your voice heard. You know, if you don't vote, then in essence, you probably help the problem. So go out and vote. Vote for the best person after hearing every individual that you think might represent the country, vote for that individual. But you can't sit back and say that you're not going to vote. Vote.
Okay. You are a father, am I correct?
Yes, I am.
A father of how many?
4.
When you think about your children's future, I don't know the age of them, but my son is 2. When you think about the future of your children, what is it exactly that you want for your 4 children?
I want my 4 children to have an opportunity to live a comfortable life. You know, a life in a place where I call home. I would hope that they would stay here and this would be their home as well. And they could come out, you know, have opportunities as everyone else has to have proper education, to have a home, be able to purchase land and have a home, to be able to have a good job, to be in a place that's friendly, that's secure, that's crime-free, to the best part. You know, that's my hope for my children. I don't want them to be in any less than I am. I would prefer them to be in a better state than I am right now. And that's one of the reasons that I am running, you know. It's like my slogan, one of my slogans, or district or future. So we have to take care of the district now to secure a better and brighter future for the people that are to come.
In speaking of the district, many citizens are of the opinion that once elected and persons are given a portfolio, they somehow neglect the district and focus on the portfolio. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a simple and easy thought process on that. If elected, I don't plan to campaign in the next 4 years. When election comes up again in the next 4 years, I don't plan to campaign if elected. I say that to say this. My portfolio would speak for itself with regards to the fourth district, where you can go and see this was done, this was done, this was done. If it wasn't done, it was attempted. And while being attempted, the district was in every step of the way. They were there in the thought process. They were kept well informed. If there's any blockage that I receive, anyone trying to, you know, barricade me from moving forward, they would be informed. So they would actually know it didn't get done because Chad didn't do it. It didn't get done because Chad didn't try to do it. It didn't get done because Chad was actually blocked, and he let us know he was blocked. And every step of the way as we progress, they would know. So they would be able to see, in 4 years, he did this, 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 and this. He started this, 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 and this. And these weren't completed because he was blocked, and we knew they were blocked because he kept us informed, he kept us in the loop every step of the way.
If given an opportunity to serve in a ministerial capacity, where would you see yourself fitting in?
I haven't really thought about that in regards to a ministerial, but I would say I would wait and see what's available. I would wait to see where my strengths are, and the one that's more catered towards my strengths, that's the ministry that I would pursue.
Thank you. I have to ask you a series of questions, and I want to, it's a lighter side of politics and lighter side of you. What is your favorite Virgin Islands cuisine? That food that you could eat all the time.
Oxtail.
Okay.
Yeah, I could eat oxtail any day, every day. Followed closely by lamb chop, Johnny cake.
All right. Do you have a favorite pastime in the BVI?
Boat racing.
Okay. All right. If you could select your favorite sister island, which one would it be? Or do you have a favorite sister island?
Just Van Dyke.
Okay. What are you most proud of in being a Virgin Islander?
I'm proud of our stick-to-itiveness. You know, we are people we are proud people, we are people with passion, we are people that sees something and we go out and get it. So that's what I'm most proud of. We are a small island / group of islands on a map. And if you compare us to any other country in the world, we're right up there with them with our finances. We're a little behind with infrastructure, but with regards to finances, tourism, which can be worked on a little bit as well, I feel that's what made me proud to be a Virgin Islander. We see things and we go out and we get things done, and no matter how small we are, when you look at us, we can be compared on the larger scale. For example, look at Miss Adija Hodge, the record that she just did. We can look at Demoy Hodge, what he's doing in the NCAA, and we could go back to athletes, you know, various people, doctors who have come from the Virgin Islands and elevated themselves from a small place on the map to do great things.
Understood. Do you have a favorite Virgin Islands rum or drink?
I don't really drink like that. So I won't say that I have a favorite, in all honesty.
All right. And my final question on that, if you could take anyone from yesteryear, they're no longer here, a Virgin Islander, who would it be and why?
I would, the late Honorable H. Levity Stout, to pick his brain on issues back then that he had to deal with, and to see how he would deal with issues that we have now. If he were, like, for example, the Commission of Inquiries, how would he go about dealing with the Commission of Inquiries?
That's a great choice. Chad, thank you so much for this conversation. In addition to that, thank you for exercising your democratic right and in doing so, putting yourself up to represent the people of the Virgin Islands.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm Ronn Grant. You're watching 284 Media, Journey to Elections 2023.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you, you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.